What's the best way for people to start investing in cryptocurrency, and what are some things they shouldn't do?
I think you should definitely avoid putting a lot of money into any individual cryptocurrency at this point in time. I like a lot of what JP had to say about focusing on the picks and shovels elements of crypto. And really, let's just throw out crypto and let's go with blockchain. Because I think that at the end of the day is the real sustainable innovation here. And I think too often the two are conflated. And I think it's really important to point out that, look, blockchain is here to stay. The companies that build applications on top of blockchain might not be. The whole design around blockchain is decentralization. So the idea that a particular corporate entity could be a gating force and allowing the individual users or society to access the benefit of the blockchain is anathema to what blockchain is about. So I think it's important to focus on technologies and companies that are looking to help bring blockchain technology benefits to society. Those companies that are looking to just benefit from the value of blockchain to others are really not adding any value. They're toll takers. And blockchain's about getting rid of toll takers. For that matter, investing in public companies that are putting money in blockchain is not a good idea either. Those guys are doing the same thing that JP Morgan and Goldman are doing, and they're just trying to make sure that they can attract the younger demographic of investors. There's no real benefit to that. And Elon Musk saying, that he needed to test the liquidity of Bitcoin in a market that traded 53 billion yesterday is absurd. He's using it to juice earnings. There's no other reason. And he could do that with a lot of other assets.
It's funny about that Elon comment that he wants to test liquidity. It's like, shouldn't you have thought about the liquidity before you got into the position? You're testing it on, you're testing it on the wrong side of the trade.
So you're risking our corporate assets with your volatility test here. Yeah, you do that due diligence before. Exactly, JP. It's a marvel how much people are willing to sort of trust the Musk narrative, no matter how ridiculous it might be.
I was going to make a comparison, David. You made a great point about blockchain and about it being open and decentralized. We had a similar type of a situation 20 plus years ago. Remember with software, when Linux first came on the scene, they had it open source, had it open for everybody, and it became everybody said it was going to fail. Microsoft was going to crush them, and Oracle and so forth. And a lot of these companies started adapting the Linux way, the open source, open code software, and probably in some kind of a similar fashion, this blockchain is going to do the same work. And I agree with you. I think there's a lot of companies that aren't going to survive, but the whole blockchain is going to live on because it's a good security aspect, right?
That's right. That's right. There's a big difference here. And I think the open source movement is for sure here to stay. Blockchain is a continuation of that. And that's where the value is. And I think it's important that we make investors understand. Open source means it goes straight from the technology to society. And corporations, by their very definition, are designed to make money by stepping in and taking a toll between those two things. And that's really kind of anathema again to the blockchain technology. So be really careful. Businesses like Coinbase and a lot of these exchanges, they don't really have a competitive advantage except being first to market. Other companies are going to be able to do the same thing because they can also access the blockchain technology. So that's where you got to be discerning, understand what you're getting into, and understand the price at which you're entering so that you're not buying into something because it's popular.
I think some of Coinbase's value is predicated upon how many people are using its network, right? So yes, there are perhaps lower barriers of entry. Anybody can open up an exchange, but Coinbase is valuable because so many people are using its exchange, and then that is a moat, right? The network effect is a moat for Coinbase. But I generally do agree with the comments, though.
Yeah, and I would also just emphasize David's point about you have to be ready to differentiate cryptocurrencies from blockchain, and too often the two do get confused. I mean, I've been in rooms, on Clubhouse, and there's an argument going on about what is the value of a specific cryptocurrency, and someone, a cybersecurity expert will chime in saying, oh, well, there's these applications for cyber, and if it can save this kind of money, then this adds to the value. And my question to them was, can you do, like, do you need Bitcoin to do that, or do you need blockchain specifically to do that? And what he realized is it's not so much about the cryptocurrency, whatever it was we were talking about, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, certainly not Doge, but what the realization for that person was, you know what, it's really about blockchain. And that kind of helped them realize that it's not so much about the cryptocurrency. So for people looking to get into this space, you know, if you want to own Bitcoin, go buy some Bitcoin, right? There's plenty of places to do it. But if you want access or exposure rather to blockchain and technology, the ecosystem and the technology, then you are looking for those companies, you know, whether it's this digital transformation ETF or individual companies. You have to be ready to kind of differentiate, because again, you know, you could have been very bullish on the internet in 2000, but if you bought the wrong .com, it's kind of the same thing as being bullish on blockchain and just buying the wrong cryptocurrency now.